Ride of Steel at Six Flags Darien Lake is an Intamin Hyper or Mega Coaster. It's one of the most iconic coasters there and has had its fair share of controversy over the years. But despite the reputation the ride has amongst the general public, it still attracts coaster enthusiasts from across the globe to this day. Putting that aside, Six Flags Darien Lake really is a beautiful park that is really underrated. Enough about the park though, let's get into the ride's history. Superman, Ride of Steel, opened on May 15th, 1999. Needless to say, it had a bit of a rough opening, because just one day later a guest was ejected from the ride vehicle, leading to serious injuries. He was given $3.95 million in damages. This is the reason we have that trim brake on the last hill. Just 1 year later, the ride was cloned and put at Six Flags America, also under the name Superman Ride of Steel. After Six Flags sold Darien Lake, the Superman part of the name was dropped. Darien Lake ended up being bought by many owners, such as Herschend, who were the owners of Silver Dollar City and Dollywood. During the Herschend ownership, an RMC wooden coaster was announced for the park, but was cancelled before track fabrication could start. But that's off topic. It was also bought by Premier Parks and EPR Properties. Under the Herschend ownership in 2011, Ride of Steel had its worst accident yet. On July 8th, a war veteran was ejected from Ride of Steel's sustained ejector airtime hill, where he tragically fell to his death. For more information on the accident, I recommend you watch the video GP2 Enthusiast made on the accident. It explains it a lot better. The July 8th accident affected Darien Lake massively. Attendance dropped and Darien Lake was given an unwanted bad reputation. The park has since recovered and is doing just fine. After the accident, Ride of Steel reopened and still operates to this day. Your experience with Ride of Steel begins before you even get to the park. It begins as you're driving to the park and see the Hyper dominating the skyline above the trees. Once in, you'll walk up to the ride. To get to it, you'll need to walk left from the main entrance and under Predator. Ride of Steel has its own little path here with a few restaurants as well. Enter the queue line under the Ride of Steel sign. The queue has no theming and is just one big cattle pen. Eventually, make your way up to the big metal square. Did I say big metal square? I mean the station. Now, there is no grouper, so yeah, it gets crowded. Also, I'd like to note, if you frequently visit Canada's Wonderland, you'd know of the fake owl and behemoth station that used to scare the birds away. It seems like Ride of Steel needs one because the last time I was there, I counted 3 different birds' nests in the roof. Anyways, make your way into the train and buckle the seatbelt. Then pull down the nice, non-restrictive T-bar. Take that, New England. I would also like to note that it gets rougher the farther back you go. The front row is smooth as glass and the back row just gives you a headache. Dispatch and enter a flat left-hand turn. Begin ascending the lift hill. Now since this was the very first Intamin Hyper, it has a regular chain lift rather than a cable lift. Eventually reach the maximum height of 208 feet and drop at 68 degrees. This drop is absolutely beautiful. It drops over one of the lakes and you just see the water glisten as you descend. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows because you instantly hit a sharp, flat left-hand turn. This turn provides some amazing G-forces and is so close to the ground that if you're in the left seat, you can almost touch some of the weeds growing up through the ground. You'll then fly up into a huge floater hill. This might be similar to something you would find on Millennium Force. Now, I say floater hill. It doesn't really give any airtime unless the ride is running really fast. You will then enter the first helix. Now, the pop-up into the helix provides some great ejector. But other than that, the helix is the first sort of bland part of the ride. Yeah, it's fun, but halfway through, you're just like, what's next? Well, what's next is straight track. Many people like to drag on Ride of Steel because of the straight track, but honestly, it's so much fun. You're just gliding so close to the lake, you feel like you can touch the water. The wind is in your hair, it's weirdly one of the most memorable parts of the ride. Then you'll fly up into the sustained ejector airtime hill, narrowly missing a tree. Now this hill is the highlight of the ride. Yeah, it's done some things, but the airtime is just so powerful. You just feel every organ in your body fly up. Seriously, one of the best airtime hills ever. Now remember that long, bland helix? Well, here we go again. Yup, another huge helix. Once you exit the helix, you begin the ride's finale. You fly out of the helix in ejector moment number 1, then a twisted airtime hill, which is ejector moment number 2, followed by 2 more insane ejector hills, and that's moment 3 and 4. And so ends your divine airtime cuisine. You'll then hit the brake run, which is only 80 feet long. Take notes, B&M. And as you enter into the gift shop, your Ride of Steel experience ends. Overall, Ride of Steel is a pretty solid coaster. Yeah, it has a weird layout with a few dull points, but that just can't take away from the impeccable airtime experience that is the ending. On the Curse to Blessed scale, it gets a blessed. Overall, thanks for watching. We're coming close to 300 subscribers, so if we could hit that within the next few months, that would be amazing. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.